Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm joined by porn pioneer and trans activist Buck Angel. Buck is one of the most respected trans educators in the country, and today he's going to take us through his journey, along with guest co-host Joanna Angel. It's a whole lot of angels.
I know.
Okay?
Meet the angel.
You should see Joanna's skin.
Okay, so stay tuned. You're going to love the show. Okay, it's true. My sex toy collection is bigger than most. I may or may not have broken some kind of record by now, but that's not really the point. The point is my collection started with one very special product, the Magic Wand. I've said it before, but the Magic Wand was part of my life long before it was part of my show. Now it's time to make it part of your life, too. For more than 30 years, the Magic Wand has been the trusted toy that women around the world reach for first. Time magazine even selected it as one of the top 10 most influential gadgets of all time. The Magic Wand should really be the cornerstone of every sex toy collection. There's nothing else that comes close. Whether you choose the plug-in power of the Magic Wand Original or the cordless convenience of the Magic Wand Rechargeable, you need to have one in your lineup. Or if you're like me, have both of them. To order yours today, click on the Magic Wand banner on my site or visit magicwandoriginal.com.
Into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
Listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com where you can check out, God, there's so much cool stuff happening on our website. Do you know that we update every day with blogs and videos and everything that you need to have the best sex of your life, better sex? And believe me, if you have the question, we've answered it on our site. And also, we love when you follow us on all social media. It's all at Sex with Emily across the board and facebook.com/sexwithemily. And most of all, this is equally as important, subscribe to the show. When you subscribe to the podcast, it really helps us, just helps us with everything when you subscribe. And also, when you listen to the show, if you subscribe to a podcast, you can like rewind and go, it leaves your spot. Like, do you guys know this? Like, it leaves where you're at. If you're listening and you're like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, you come back. Like, if you don't subscribe to a podcast, it'll go back to the beginning. So that helps. Also review the show. And he's like, really? But it's true. It's important. We love you all. So thank you so much. Also, you know how much I love lube. I love lube. Do you guys love lube?
Love it.
I like it.
You're not upset? Okay.
I know.
I'm upset. Are you lube-free and gluten-free?
I know. I'm
okay.
lube-free. I don't use it that often.
Okay.
I don't. I
That's
use
cool.
it if I'm doing a very extreme sex act.
Okay, well, this is the thing. I'm making my dream lube because Joe. Do you guys know Joe? They make lubes.
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
Okay, so
that
Joe,
is a good lube.
Yeah, their lube is great. We'll give you little gift bags before you go.
Oh, cool.
Joe,
That's awesome.
I know. We're not giving you.
It will get used.
I know, dude. Dude, we're gonna give you some lube. So, Joe asked me though, like, what would your dream lube be? And I was like, they're like, we're gonna make it. So I'm like, wow, God, I mean, I have so many ideas, but I thought, let me ask my listeners. So if you go to sexwithemily.com/dreamlube, take a short survey. It'll take you like 3 minutes. Your responses will help Joe create a brand new lube that we all designed together. Plus, 10 lucky participants will receive a Joe package worth $100. And they send like these packages. We have so many. They send me the best gift packages. They don't just make lubes. They make like skincare lotions, all this really cool stuff. So go to sexwithemily.com/dreamlube or click on the Dream Lube banner today. Okay. We were already having a show within the show before the show.
Yeah. I'm like all interested in the lube.
Yeah.
I know. We should bring it out.
I've been using coconut oil as lube.
Yeah?
A lot. A lot of people do that.
That's good for you,
now.
actually. You know, trans men a lot of times get very dry from using testosterone because basically it's like going through menopause.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm working actually right now on a lube specifically for trans men.
I should use it.
Yeah.
I'm going to use it.
Even for women, it's the same thing, but we get it at such a higher level because the testosterone literally dries you out.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And And so what? So up until now, what would you be using? Like a silicone
So I
lube?
use I like silicone, but not everybody likes that.
I
right?
like silicone.
Yeah, so do
too.
I.
Yeah.
And a water-based tends to dry out too.
I know,
Water-based, you
sometimes
got to
I-
keep reapply.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like, what's the point of using lube if it's just
I know.
gonna go
Exactly. If you're just
away?
like pushing a whole
I
bottle.
think it's
inside.
just made for people who are allergic to silicone or
Yeah.
something. But
And I believe that silicone lube like had a really bad PR team or something, or water-based lube. People went
Yes.
after it and they just bashed silicone lube for so many years.
Yes.
I thought it was
Right.
bad too when I started. I was like, oh, what? Or I thought it was like not. It was, but it's
and
superior in
especially
many ways.
bad for porn. If you're gonna be like
water-based
getting,
is.
yeah,
Right.
I'm like if you're gonna get,
You can't be
railed
like, that's
in the
hot.
ass,
Wait, hold
yeah.
on.
Yeah, you need
you're gonna You have a
silicone.
giant dick in your
Yeah.
ass.
If you have a
You
giant
wanna
dick in your
stop.
ass, you for
And you
sure
wanna
you want a
shoot,
lube
yeah.
shooter filled with
Yes.
some goddamn silicone lube.
Yeah.
Even your pussy, don't try it.
Yeah, no, right.
I know. I remember
just want to be lubed up all the time.
I bought like a big thing of lube, and I was like in a rush, and then I brought it home, and then I like saw that on the bottom, very small, it said water based, and I was like, God damn it! And it was like even on set, like people were like, Do you have lube? Do you have lube? And I was handing people lube, and they would look at it, and they're like, Do you have silicone lube?
Right.
Like no one in.
Oh my
porn.
God! Wait until you come into my
Unless
sex closet.
It's unless it's someone who's allergic to silicone.
True, and some people it does. That's
Some
why you
people are,
got to
but-
find out what kind of lube works
Right.
for you. We sell all the Joe lubes on my
I want nothing to
website
do
as
with
well.
them.
You
Yeah.
what?
I don't want anything to do with that water based lube.
No,
It's
I hear you.
pointless, yeah.
But for some women, they are like you
Yeah.
know, some
Sensitive.
vaginas are like sensitive, so
Yeah.
you got to deal. So that's why you can just do like a try it out, figure
Yeah.
out. It's,
But
all
you're
life.
gonna
It's all a
make-
process.
you're
It's
gonna
all a
make
process.
one- You
Yeah,
should
I'm
make one
actually
with a
trying to figure
coconut
out-
oil base.
Yeah,
I know who
coconut
you.
oil.
I'm
Yeah, so
surprised
trying to
that
look for a
hasn't
company
been
right
Wait,
now.
I
capitalized
have a.
on more
I
often.
know
Oh, there you
exactly.
go.
Wait,
Right on.
I know
No, I'm telling
exactly
you,
who's
it could be
shocked too.
huge.
No, like we're.
Yeah.
Will you remind me? We've got so many things to talk about. Joanna's amazing skin. Joanna looks friggin' amazing.
She looks amazing,
We
you
are
guys are
obsessing
dying.
about her skin.
I just want to touch your face.
I know. But Buck, so I did a little light introduction of you, and we're going to get into more about who you are and what you're all the amazing things you're doing and the pioneer that you are and all the great stuff that's happening. But in your life and in your world, and I'm so happy to be sitting with you because I feel like for years I've been like Buck Angel's got to come on the show and da-da-da. And here you are.
Here we are.
And I love
Thank
that. So we're going to get into that. We're going to read your emails. But first, I got a little sex in the news. I'd love you guys to help me here.
Okay.
Get your thoughts. The 7 best times to have sex throughout the day. You probably don't need another excuse to have sex, but it turns out that certain occasions, like after a workout or before a big presentation, there are bonus benefits to getting it on. So tell me what you guys think of these. They say, before a big presentation. They say research shows that having sex calms your nerves, lowers blood pressure, and reduces stress.
I believe that totally.
Yeah,
Does that include masturbation though?
I guess so.
It probably does. My cousin is a very like big time radiologist,
Right.
and she actually told me that she always insists on having sex before she has to give big presentations to like
Oh,
doctors. and
interesting.
and she has to teach classes. She always does.
That's smart. See,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always too stressed
And
out to have sex. That's exactly when you need to have it.
Yes,
That's the
that
point,
is when you
right?
need to have it.
In the morning, your body was made for morning sex.
I
'cause
love morning
Me too.
sex.
Oh, me too.
Me too.
Testosterone
I think
levels.
is it part of getting older?
No,
You
I
start
don't
liking
know.
morning sex better.
I've always liked it.
yeah.
I've always liked it. I like sex. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like sex all the time.
But
Morning
there is a
sex
different
is-
feeling in the morning.
There is.
Yeah.
There's like something very like.
Yeah.
Like it's sweet.
It's
You wake up, like,
sweet,
it's what if you're- like
yeah.
at least I had sex today. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
after like if nothing else happens that day, you're like I had sex.
Yeah, yeah. You
It
start
feels
to
more
say,
lovey for some.
It
loving.
does.
I don't know. Yeah. It
That's
just
why you do like the
feels-
spooning position.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you just wake up together. I like that too. Okay, when you feel cold coming on.
What?
It may seem counterintuitive. Past research suggests that having sex can actually boost your immune system.
That I haven't heard.
I have a great immune system. By the way.
Because you're so healthy.
I actually do have a good
Yeah.
immune system now that I'm thinking.
Yeah,
about
You're
it.
like,
Exactly.
what are
It's
you, like
very
genetically
strange.
perfect now?
No.
Oh, thanks, Joanna. Come on the
Real
show.
Joanna. She's not real. Actually.
You're not real. I love
The
that I
robot.
love that your boyfriend said that you look like you're just photoshopped, like you photoshopped
Well, I
yourself.
used to have like really bad skin, but it's been a working project, and I've figured out.
I
all the
never
Like her
remember
skin.
that. I've
right
known you for
things,
15 years.
Yeah,
I never
you're
remember
beautiful.
you having
But
bad
anyway, 2 weeks into her cycle, past research suggests that around 2 weeks into her menstrual cycle, her clitoris goes up to 20% bigger, becomes engorged more easily. Translation: she may orgasm easier on this particular day. I'm trying to think if I know that that's you're more sensitive at that time. I'm trying to think if like I don't know.
But what about actual period time? Don't you? I remember feeling super sensitive when I was on my period and
Yeah.
really loving sex.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a lot of people do. I know a lot of women do. You know what? I'm kind of like the
right
same.
before I do get
Right.
cramps and stuff, and I'm not
Right.
in the mood.
But like I want to know.
Oh, do you masturbate when you have cramps? I used to do that.
Yeah.
Get
No,
rid of
that
my
helps
cramps.
too.
I
Yeah.
should. That's
You should.
No,
It's
it
great.
does.
That's a good
Actually,
idea.
that's something I've talked a lot about on the show too, because it can relieve
It
cramps.
does.
Depression. It's good for your skin. But maybe that's it. No, really. Do
never
you
gonna
think
let
that
you-
you've had so many orgasms that now you get really good
I
skin?
just have good skin.
God,
Because she's just
annoying.
saying it's the cream, but
Yeah.
we don't believe
not
it.
the
I'm gonna
cream.
start a
Something
whole
else.
new kind
What
of
kind of cream?
dermatologist.
It's the
Yeah.
cream.
I know.
Okay.
Give us
After you
free
hit the
cream.
gym, your body pumps out testosterone, a crucial sex hormone. So when you exercise, your desire will be higher after a sweat session. I agree. Like whenever I come
agree.
back from like working out and stuff like
You
that, I
wanna-
totally
you
want
wanna
to.
have
I want to
sex.
bang for sure. After a bad day. So I feel like when is sex bad though?
I
Come
know,
on.
right? They're
Like,
basically saying
just have
anytime.
sex.
Yeah,
right.
just have sex.
If you're having a bad day,
Yeah.
relieving stress. Okay, we just be relieving stress for days to come, working out the tension and frustration, and then also after doing something scary. You're already exhilarated, so
With,
you might
like
as well.
what? Like going to a
I don't
haunted
know,
mansion?
a
getting
roller
robbed or
coaster, zip
something.
lining. Nothing scares me. Here's the thing, right? I lost my car in the parking
I'm
lot
gonna go
for
jack
6
off
hours.
right now.
Nothing scares me.
Roller
Oh my
coaster
God.
ride. Have
Well,
you ever masturbated on a roller
here's the-
coaster?
No.
I have. I
You
totally
masturbate
have.
on a roller
Yes,
coaster?
at Magic Mountain.
Shut up.
Those
How old
are
were you?
really
was
fast
hard.
rides.
How old were you?
Oh,
Like
I
last
was
week?
like 15.
You
Back
were the
in
one.
the day.
Right.
I
That's
was
so
an obsessive
awesome.
masturbator when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Always masturbating.
And now you're not?
No, I still am, but I'm not a kid anymore. So I'm a
Obsessive
grandpa.
masturbator.
Yeah.
But like as a okay, we're gonna get to that. Let me just wrap this up.
Yeah.
The point is, I just think that we're saying is that just freaking
have
sex.
sex.
Just have sex.
Yeah,
Or
just have
here's the
sex.
other thing: if you've no one to have sex with, of course, sex with yourself is fine. I think that having an orgasm, tension
it does.
reliever,
It-
it's kind of
it
like a mini
relaxes
meditation.
you.
I feel like it resets me all the time, and I'm
It's
like,
true.
why haven't I been doing this? Like I have to
Yeah.
like step over sex toys in my house to get through things, and I still won't be masturbating. So,
Right.
do it. Just have
Just
an orgasm.
masturbate.
Just knock it out. Okay.
Masturbate
so,
or have sex.
right.
It's true.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Buck, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
So glad you're here. So if you, Buck Angel, you can find him at Buck Angel. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com, official Buck Angel. I saw your Facebook Live thing today.
All right, on,
I thought
thanks.
that was cool. Do you do that every day?
Every day I do the B cup. It's called
What's
the B cup.
that?
And it's morning coffee with Buck.
That's so
And
awesome.
It's so great, and I'm doing it for my community because there's a lot of really bad hate stuff happening.
Can we
in the
talk about? Okay,
community.
let's people don't know who you are. I gave
Okay,
you like
yeah.
like your
Yeah.
bio. We got that from
Yeah.
your bio, but let's talk
Right
about
on.
who you are and the
Thank
hate
you.
and all that stuff and the love.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot
I'm
of
about
love.
I'm about. Oh no.
No,
I
Oh no,
hate
you're
you.
all about love,
emanate
but you said the
nothing
hate.
but
People are like, wait, why do
wonderful.
people hate?
Not
So-
with me specific, but in my community of the trans
You're,
world.
I
trans
have
world.
to say that the trans queer community can be oddly enough
divisive.
a little bit judgmental.
yes.
And it's very strange. And sometimes there's a lot of wonderful people in that community. I mean, I love you. I love Jizzly.
Beautiful.
You know,
person.
you're both like very inspiring people. But then sometimes when I'm around people in that community, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells.
Like that you're going
And
to say
I'm
the
like,
wrong thing.
I'm gonna say the
friend,
wrong
you're so
thing.
right.
Right.
Okay,
You're
no,
so right.
it's true.
No, she's
and
right.
especially
Yeah.
the
She's right.
porn I make. I like making comedies. It's what I've always
Right.
made. And I think a lot of people who make comedies in general do have a problem with wondering if they're going to offend people. You know,
Right, it's
I
true.
think that is. It's just common. And I love I like adding humor to my porn. That's just
Right.
what I've
I
always
love
liked
it.
to do.
It's brilliant.
Everybody's got their own thing, you know,
Right.
and that's just what I make.
So people get angry with you. Get
I've
haters.
gotten some hate.
course
I've
you
also
have.
gotten a lot of love, but I do find that it kind of reminded me when I was younger and I was very heavy in like the punk scene, and it's like you kind of join the punk scene because you're like an outcast from regular
Right.
society, but then within the punk scene, everybody's
know.
very
But it's like
judgmental
everywhere you go.
over
It's
who's
insane.
punk and who's not,
Who's
and then
not.
I feel like that's kind of
Yes.
the same
the
thing
trans
that
world,
goes
so-
on in the
Exactly,
I just call it
exactly.
the queer community, and it's
It's
supposed to be
insane.
a place
It's
of
insanity.
love and
right.
acceptance.
You feel like you'd all be.
But I'm glad you said that because
No, it's
since I'm not
exactly.
engrossed in that world, I don't want to be the one to make a judgment
No,
on
no,
it.
no.
But
But
I
you're
just
making
get that.
100%
Yeah,
sense.
Yes.
and it's like
What
like,
is
I'm
this? So
sorry,
let's-
we don't all know exactly
We
what
shouldn't.
we're supposed to call
No,
people.
it's
And,
changed,
Can't we
too.
all just
Yes.
talk and have sex and have
And
fun?
this is
just,
why
Right,
the
can't we
rest
just-
of the world comes to me.
Right.
Right.
This is exactly why the rest of the world. it
You
doesn't
have to
go.
solve this problem
Because I
you are
actually
the ambassador.
understand, and I
Yeah.
want to take that job on because this is the way it is. Exactly what you're saying, Joanna. First off, I do everything with humor. I
Right.
talk about myself with humor.
Right.
It's
I've-
funny
and
to be a
I've
man with a
always done
pussy.
that
It's
too.
Right.
hilarious.
Man with pussy, right?
Man with a pussy. I don't take myself
So
that literally like that serious.
Right.
Like it's ridiculous. I'm funny. But
You are
that's
funny.
the way that I educate the world. Do you know how many fans I have outside of the transgender community? I would say the majority of my fan base is outside of the transgender community.
Right. Is there any particular community where your fans
Gay
like
men.
Gay men.
For sure, gay men have the
Yeah.
ones. The reason
You're-
I'm sitting here is
you're
because
hot.
of gay men. Well, it's just because they
And
understood
they appreciate your
sexuality
struggle.
at
right.
a level. Trans
Exactly.
men, I mean,
they get it at that level. But
got
trans
it.
men are fight. But you just think there wouldn't be such divisiveness. It's like, can't we all? We're all going through this. But
Nope.
we all know how hard it is.
Ego.
But
So what
okay,
is
so
the
what
main-
is
what
the
is the
hate? Let's talk
central
about it.
So the thing
conflict?
is this,
Okay.
I'll tell you, for myself specifically, I've been doing this work for 15 years. I put myself out there as a voice of change, not as a voice of trans. That is not the way that is not who I am, what I
Right.
do.
Right.
I'm a human rights activist, somebody who wants to create change around sexuality, around your body, around acceptance. And so for some reason, the trans community thought I was a representation of the trans community from day one. From day one, I've always called myself the man with the pussy.
Right.
I've never said I was a trans man. I never said I represent.
Is it because
Did
back then that wasn't the
term
word?
even come to be? Because I feel
Yes.
like I haven't really even.
Right.
I mean, you would hear the term like she's a
Transsexual.
tranny. It
Yes.
always meant like a.
Right.
A man
Tranny
that
is a-
dresses
is a
like
term
a woman.
that was picked
Tranny's
up.
a term, that I've been hearing.
But it's
that
now
for-
derogatory,
yeah.
but then it
Now
wasn't.
it's derogatory,
It
but
wasn't.
it's
Oh, it
not.
is?
It
Okay, I
is
guess
and
I
it
didn't get
isn't.
that.
It
Depends
depends
who
on
you
the
are.
context.
Right, queer used to be derogatory.
Queer
You
used
could
to
say
be
queer.
too.
Right,
This
now
is
it's
a
fine.
conversation that
You
is
say
such a
dra-
great,
I don't know.
important conversation,
Yes, let's
especially
have
for
it.
people outside of the community.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Tranny is a derogatory
It's a
word
derogatory
now
word.
only because it has been used against trans women specifically as a derogatory statement.
Okay, well,
Within
we
the
don't want that.
pornography business,
I have
it is
nothing but
not
respect for
derogatory.
trannies.
Of course, nobody's sitting here. You wouldn't have me on the show
No, right,
if that
right,
was the
right.
case.
No, God, no.
But now what they're trying to teach people is that using the word tranny is a derogatory statement.
Okay, so then what
that's
type-
fine.
What do you call
A
the
trans woman.
women on
You like if
RuPaul's
you-
Drag Race?
Trans woman, trans.
Okay, a
You'd
trans.
say
That's it.
trans
Okay.
man.
Trans man.
Right.
Basically, trans is the short part of transgender.
Right.
So that's
Right.
all it is. It's just calling a person a transgender person.
Right,
Okay.
and I remember
We
like
just- we
saying
have to take off the
transgendered on my
Y.
show because I worked. I
You
worked
can say
in
trans.
but I said transgender. Somebody emailed like you can't say because I used to
Yes,
work
you
in politics.
can.
Yes, you can. What else are you gonna say?
People are insane.
said transgendered,
Right?
Oh,
and that's
right.
not where we're going with
Right.
Oh,
that-
I get it.
It's not transgender.
But it was
transgender.
It's transgender.
transgender. But I don't
Yes.
remember why. It was like in the
So-
90s.
so what? You
I
screwed
worked-
up.
All I'm
So
saying is
what?
at least I'm talking about
Yes.
it, right? People. That's what I'm saying. That
That's
people
the
are
problem.
so like I don't understand. Like
That's
even
the
like you know.
problem.
Right. So let's talk about.
There's
so,
no conversation. Look, we're having a conversation right now.
Right.
And the reason why I'm telling you what the rest of the world comes to me is because I'm willing to have the conversation. If you fuck up and say the wrong thing, can I say fuck up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
totally
yeah.
say whatever the hell you want.
If you fuck up and say to me, tranny, what do? Wait a minute here, my friend. Tranny is actually not a cool word to use anymore.
Yeah.
And so we
Okay.
just don't really
It's
talk
FYI.
about that.
Right.
Okay, cool. You got it. I don't go, oh my God, you just said tranny. You're the devil. You're evil. Guess what happens? You completely shut yourself off
Right.
to learning what I just said.
It's like right, exactly. And
Yes.
people who get so angry, like I'm just
Yes.
going to take to Twitter and I'm going to fight. It's like
Yes.
why not take that energy and do something positive?
Because
about it? I don't
my
I just-
community
brain
of
doesn't work
trans
like-
people are they're victims. What they've done is they victimize themselves. Not the whole community. There's a huge amount of the community who are like me, want to create change, who are loving and beautiful. There's a part of the community who continues to victimize themselves and say, I'm not this, I'm bad.
So why are they mad? Give me an
They're
example.
mad at me, and yeah, let's have that
Let's just
conversation.
do
because
that.
I
Let's
don't
get that
want to
out.
speak for
Let's
the
get that
community.
out. Okay.
For me specifically, they're upset at the fact that I'm so out there and I have such a large voice that I created on my own, and that they don't like the way that I am representing them.
Because why? Give me an example.
Okay, so I'll give you a great
I
example. What's
understand.
happening right
Okay.
now? Because if you guys understand me, I'm an activist,
Right.
and what an activist does is they push the envelope. That's what
Right.
an activist does.
Right.
So what I've done is, as we know, Trump and Hillary are running for the president of the United States.
Yes.
So
Got it.
I'm anti-Trump. I
Okay.
don't know about you guys, but I'm anti-Trump, and I don't really care what you guys
Right.
are.
Right.
That's your choice.
Okay.
So
That's a
said,
pretty common thing
Yes.
to be
Yes.
anti-Trump.
So
Yes.
that's sad, but you'd
That's
be
why he's
surprised.
losing.
You'd be surprised.
No,
There's people
look.
in my community that are voting for Trump.
Yeah, look.
It's
There's
shocking.
people in every
So
community that are
Caitlyn
shocking.
Jenner is.
Good for her. Good for her. It all comes down to money.
Right.
But there you go. So anyway,
Right.
I made a picture, which I'll show you here
Right.
in a second.
And look,
Okay.
that
I don't-
picture basically is a picture of me. And what did Trump say recently? Didn't he say
Grab
Oh
something?
her by the
God!
pu-
Choose
what did he
one.
not
Grab by
say?
the
What did he
pussy,
not say?
bad,
Yeah.
nasty
I love
woman.
It.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Bad
Right.
hombre.
Right. So he said
Grab-
something
grab her by the
really
pussy.
nasty, and it was not okay. So I posted this.
Yeah, I
photograph.
love that one. I love that
Hey,
picture.
Everyone
I liked it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
The whole world loves it.
Yeah.
But guess who doesn't love it?
Who?
Trans men.
What?
So
Why?
I'm going to show
That
you.
is like.
So
Okay,
this
so let me just tell
trans
you,
men-
they can find this on your Instagram. It's a picture of handsome buck. He's a handsome buck. Hey Trump, grab my pussy, I dare you, Buck Angel. And he's like wearing a wife beater. And he's got his strong arms, and yeah, because Trump did come out and say like, what is it? I said I would grab her
by the
pussy.
Yeah, it was nasty.
I was
going to
grab her by the pussy. So that people get mad about that because is it?
Said,
explain
"Hey,
this
Trump,
to me.
come
But
grab
wait,
my
percentage
pussy."
of
not one woman got mad at me.
He was challenging
Not one
Trump.
woman. Not one woman
were
got mad at me.
challenging-
Trans
Women
men got
embraced
mad
it.
at you.
Trans men. So this trans man writes this thing about me, and he says, "How dare you use
Have
your
a sense of
toxic
humor."
masculinity?" That's what he called me, toxic masculinity.
Because why? Like, does
on,
he?
this is
Because I'm threatening.
Wait, what are you threatening?
I'm threatening Trump. But what
you're-
they're saying is that I'm perpetuating
Oh,
this
come
idea
on.
exactly.
Well, here's
Come
my
on, there's
But it's
so
mine.
many
Can you
election
please-
memes.
But it's mine.
It's not about the election. Can we go
Okay.
back to this? Okay,
But
let me
it's
just-
mine.
Here's the thing. With the they upset because a lot of trans men have the surgery, right? They might
Yes.
get a penis,
They
and
might,
you've
they might
decided
not.
to. They might,
Yes.
they might not. And I would think that the majority don't, right?
Yes.
They keep their
They
vagina,
keep their vaginas.
their
yes.
pussy.
Yes.
So if that's the case,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't even matter what the case is, they want it to be like on the down low, like yes, we have a pussy, but we don't talk about
Yes.
it. Why do you talk about it
Exactly.
so much?
That's
'Cause
exactly
really-
it.
But that
that's
doesn't.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're kind of like
would've
we're a
thought
man.
not.
There is a whole load of men with pussies now, tons of them.
Right.
When I transitioned, we didn't talk about it. I was the first
You
guy
were
to
the only
put it
one.
out there.
Who the hell would you talk
now
to then?
there's hundreds, if not thousands of thousands of
Right.
men. But there's also hundreds of thousands of men who don't want to talk about it as their pussy
Because
which
they're a
is
man,
fine.
and how they're a man, they think I'm a man. I have to,
Exactly, and all of that is
that's
fine.
fine.
Here's the deal:
You're not saying show me your pussy.
Never-
You're like, here's my.
And did I say all trans men? And did I
No.
say this is about trans men?
Okay,
And
I
did
get
say, so what they did is they took my photograph and they became completely upset because they think I'm representing them. Not only did they try to call me out on my toxic masculinity, they tried to call me out on being cis-normative. Do you know what cis-normative is?
Okay,
You know,
Yeah.
cisgender.
Cisgender
Is it
means
gender
someone
you.
who, someone
You.
who identifies with the
or the
gender
gender
they
you
were
were born
born
in.
So they call me cis-normative, meaning that I try to look like a cisgender person. Oh, and then they called me passing, which means that you're a person who can walk in the world and nobody knows you're transgender.
But isn't
And then they
then
called me-
You've been a man for 20 years.
I am a man.
Eventually, you're gonna get really good
Okay.
at looking
Thank
like
you.
a
And
man.
I'm not trans. I'm a man.
You're a man.
Right.
It's different.
It is
Maybe
different.
when
Okay,
you
so
were going
let's.
through the
so
transition.
I don't even want to give these people
No,
any more energy.
exactly.
I don't even
I
care.
just needed to let you know.
No, I get
this
it.
is what I
But
do.
so
I
let's
did not
talk
know
about
that
you.
that
This is what I do.
exists.
Right. So it's
I'm
so divisive. I mean,
floored.
people, in every community, like there is
But
just.
because I am a voice, you guys know that. I'm
Right.
one of the loudest
You're-
voices
you are.
out there for the
You're the
trans
voice.
But
community.
you emanate nothing but love
Thank
and
you, my
happiness
friend.
Yes.
and positivity.
Thank you, my friend.
And I
Absolutely.
try to do the same
You
thing.
do it.
You do.
I
You do
never
it.
stepped into the porn industry thinking I was better than everyone
Nope.
else, trying to hate on
think-
everyone
Yes.
else. I just wanted to be
It's
part
why
of
everybody
it.
loves you.
That's
and
why
why
everybody
it
loves-
is
exactly.
why everybody
I
loves
wanted
you.
to be part of it, but I
Yes.
wanted to do things my own way.
You've always
And
been gracious with your time. You've always been really, when I first started and met you, you were always kind to me. You were never like, ooh, that's weird or you're gross.
No.
Never.
No.
Never. But people are still going to say mean things about you.
Yeah,
Because
no,
they're
I-
jealous.
I made a movie, and I will say this pissed off people. I made a movie this year, and it's called. I mean, two of my very closest friends. They're like a married lesbian. You know, Nikki and Lee,
Yes.
a married lesbian couple. They're
Awesome.
like my best friends.
They're
I
great.
love them.
Good people.
And you know, and they're both two women married to each other, and they like very, very rarely have sex with men, like once in a blue moon.
I thought you were just gonna say
you
have
know?
sex.
Yeah, no, they
God,
have sex
I've heard
all
that
the time.
story.
Like once in a blue moon, they
Les
might,
joke.
like a very lucky guy will have a threesome with them or something. Like
Right.
if the mood is right. But they both do like doing boy girl porn from time to time. And I don't know. I made a movie about them called Dykes Taking Dicks.
It's the best.
And people got so angry.
You rule, you rule.
So all people from the queer community were so angry. Somebody said that that title promoted rape because that implied that any man could go up to a lesbian and rape her.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, excuse me.
Right.
I make comedies.
Right.
You just can't listen to these voices.
Yeah, I
think
made
we're all
it
the
was
same.
like
I don't know. People might not.
I made a
like,
joke,
I don't
and I'm
care.
sorry if my joke offended you, and I'm sorry if you don't find the joke funny. And I get it. Some jokes are going to hit, and some aren't. And I apologize. And I don't mean for my jokes to offend people, but sometimes they're going
But
to.
they were two
But you
lesbians
cannot
who
say
did it.
it's causing rape.
Right. Well, people
That
just
is
don't.
like really
Disgusting.
like say
Okay.
that's gross. Say
Enough of the
that's.
hate.
Yeah.
I want to. Okay.
Anyway.
I want to hear more about Buck. But
But
can
anyway,
you just tell me?
sorry.
But
It's
no,
horrible.
no.
I'm
I
glad
get
you
it.
like dykes taking dicks.
It's
I
one of my
love it.
favorite titles of all
I love
time.
it. Can we get it on your site?
Yeah, you
the
can get it
best.
on Burning Angel, and it's hot lesbian girls with
And
short
lesbians
hair.
I want it
made
now.
it.
Girls like and Dykes
And
is
lesbians
a hot
made it.
look.
It wasn't even like right. So
I don't
it's
understand.
ridic-
Yeah.
But listen, you guys, what we do,
Yeah,
sex
anyway.
with them. I mean, sex. It's what I do.
Yes.
You guys, we
Yeah.
all do things that are a little controversial.
We
right?
have
so
to.
we're on the
We
edge.
have
We just
to.
can't
I was
listen.
just
We
having
Those
fun.
voices are
you
not.
know?
I don't even listen. Like I don't
Yeah.
even.
But
know
we
those
have
people
to
are.
continue to push
Because
the
we all
envelope.
want
Right.
people to, we want people sex to become normal. We want people to talk about sex, and
Yes.
people don't talk about sex. They don't
Yes.
know how to talk about it. They don't understand it. So, okay, I want to know, Buck. So you transitioned from female
Yes.
to male 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so tell me when, like, where were you born?
Los Angeles, California,
Oh,
in the
okay.
Valley. I
In
was
the-
actually a Valley girl.
Oh.
Okay,
I was
No
a
way.
Valley
So
girl
funny.
Totally.
who
No
was a Girl
wonder why
Scout,
you
a
didn't want to
brownie.
be a girl
Totally.
anymore.
The
You're like,
San
these
Fernando
girls
Valley.
suck. Yeah.
I got kicked out of Girl Scouts for having sex with other Girl Scouts. I got busted in the
Really?
tent.
That's
oh,
so
totally.
hot.
Yeah, totally.
So you were always attracted to women.
Always. I identified as a lesbian, but I
At what
never
age?
felt
What
like
age?
a les. I mean, God, I can remember since I was 13 or 14 years old, really just being into women and being so like shamed about it.
Right.
And,
I mean, even at that
not
time,
okay.
being a lesbian wasn't that
No,
accepted.
nobody even knew about
Yeah.
it. And I
Right.
said I felt like a boy, and my parents actually raised me like a boy. They totally
Did they?
raised me like Buck, dressed me like a boy.
Because you said it. You were like, I'm wearing pants today. And
my
they
parents
were cool.
are super cool.
I
but
love your parents.
my
I love
parents
this.
are amazing, but the problem was they're friends.
No, it's always
Right.
about right.
Yeah.
Their friends
I
weren't cool.
understand.
So what did you must have, God, no wonder you're
I
so
had a
tough.
horrible childhood. Horrible childhood. I tried to kill myself many times. I was an alcoholic. At 16, I was a raging alcoholic. I was a cutter.
Oh my
You can see
God.
all the scars on my arm. I used to
Wow.
cut my face, my arms, everything.
Well, you were uncomfortable in your own skin.
Hated
yeah.
it.
You know?
And
hate-
all they kept telling me was, "You're a gay woman." When I would
The
say, "I'm a
doctors
man,"
or your parents even. Your parents even, there was no the
they
psychiatrist.
put me in a mental hospital because I tried to kill myself so many times, and they wouldn't listen to me. They were like, "You're a lesbian." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm a man."
You just felt, you just like, I mean, yeah, you just like
Yeah.
felt right.
Amazing.
Okay, so then
it's
what?
amazing that you kept going.
Yeah.
I'm
And here
very
you are.
lucky to be here,
You
and it's
are.
why I don't care what people say about
Yeah.
me.
Right.
And it's
That's
why
why I
I
don't
don't
even pay
care
the-
because
right.
my mission. I'm clearly here for a reason, you guys.
Right.
I know it sounds all woo, but I'm a
No.
believer of energy. I'm a believer of why people are in the space at the
Right.
same time. You create your environment.
I
And
totally agree.
and what I said earlier is my community victimizes themselves. I'm a survivor. I'm not a victim.
Right.
Different
You-
mentality.
Well, you're also a different phase. You're like you said, Trampa.
I'm Trampa. I'm old. I got
Right.
my shit down.
You've
I
been
know
doing
what's
it
up.
for a while, but
Yeah.
so then what happened? So you're like, okay, Mom, I'm going to go get like what was the moment
So
when you're
what
like,
happened
I
was-
am a man and I am doing this?
Yes, and so really through
Just
a
to
horrible
give-
childhood, blah blah blah. Then I ended up being homeless. I ended up actually becoming a model as a female. I was
Really?
I was a
Yeah,
I was
I
a
saw you
model.
posted some of those photos.
got
I wanna
put
see
in
the
your-
picture.
I'll say-
Wow.
Yeah, I was
He
put
posted on Instagram the
It's
other
totally
day some of
insane.
his old modeling pictures.
Oh my God.
You looked like a hot lesbian. you looked like Nikki
I
Hart.
hated it. I hated
like
it.
a super hot.
Whatever you gotta do to get-
dyke, you know?
Wow.
I hated it. And anyways, I got really hardcore into drugs when I was over in Europe, and then I ended up not. I was literally on the verge of becoming a supermodel, and then I didn't
Wow.
take my train to Paris.
Yeah, you totally looked like
I
Ruby
didn't
You
take
Rose.
my
literally didn't
train.
take the
You
train.
did.
I was wasted on acid and coke and everything, and I missed the train. I literally, physically missed the train.
Wow.
And that was it. And they sent me
It's
home.
kind of a metaphor as well.
yeah,
You
they
missed
sent
train,
me
but
home.
then you
And at home, I had nothing. My
Got
parents
your
had
life
already
raft.
disowned me. Everyone disowned me. I was homeless. I was living in West Hollywood on the streets, doing blow jobs and hand jobs in the car with older men as a little boy, because they would pick me up.
How old were you?
I was in my late 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, late 20s before you transitioned. Okay.
Yes.
So then
And
wow.
then I.
But you were dressed as
as a boy.
as a boy, right.
Totally like very,
Right.
baseball cap,
Like a young-
t-shirt.
right.
yeah, like a
Okay.
young
So
kid.
then what you were just
And then finally one day some guy took me home. I should have never done that, and I almost got killed. I
Wow.
almost got killed, and he almost raped me and killed me, and I just did the deed really quick, and I said, please take me back to the donut shop. And that's when I literally had an awakening. And I said, if I do not get myself out of this, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And my ex-girlfriend at the time picked me up and got me sober. And from that day on, I've been sober. And through sobriety, I had this awakening. And I said, I need to become a man. And I found a therapist after many years of therapy, and I've said to her after literally 1 month of sitting in that office, not saying a word every session.
Right.
And after every session, she would go, okay, time's up.
Wow.
Until finally the last time I came in and I said, crying, I just started crying. And I just said, you know what? I feel like a man. And she said, but why didn't you tell me that? And I said, because everyone else I said it to said no. And she said to me, I believe you. I believe you.
That's
And
really amazing.
It's amazing. She saved my life.
Wow.
She saved my
And this
life.
was when you're 30.
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
was in my late 20s
Late
at the
20s.
time.
Okay,
so
got
it
it.
wasn't far from me being homeless and
Right,
getting sober. And
wow.
within 1 or 2 years of sobriety, I started taking. And then I was telling Joanna earlier, there were no hormone doctors in LA.
No.
Nothing. And then through her, we found a hormone doctor who only worked with trans women. 30 years of trans women. And he said to me, I will help you, but I don't know what I'm doing. Sonny, you call me Sonny. I don't know what I'm doing, but you'll be my guinea pig.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Literally, he
really
said,
nice.
I'll be his guinea pig.
Why? Because
I mean,
it's
it's
not
good
as
you were-
common.
He's never done it before.
Right.
He was
no
experimenting.
one did it.
No
Right.
one did
No,
it.
It's
but
good you
you
were
were
at
always-
least in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
Yes.
not in like Alabama
Or something, because that never would have happened.
So then you transitioned.
Then I transited. I
And
had
then-
top surgery with this, and then I was the first hormone guy. I was his first trans man, the hormone guy, and then I went to the surgeon who only dealt with cisgender men and only did surgeries for men who have boobs, which is called gynecomastia, right?
Right.
And so I said, I have that. That's what I said. I have that. And
Right.
so he said, well, let's experiment. I've never done this before.
Right.
God.
Second time, I'm like, well, okay. He's like, there's this new surgery from Belgium. I'm gonna try it on you. I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
I was
You're
like a
so
total
lucky.
experiment.
So you had the
I had
vasectomy,
surgery, and
right?
he cut only underneath my areola, and that's why you don't see any scars
Right.
because he made this amazing surgery.
Yeah.
And from that moment, and that was
You started
literally
taking hormones.
reborn.
Wow.
I was reborn, you guys, and through that, I started calling my parents, and I started having a conversation. They were like, "Oh, that's the problem."
They get it, right?
And they got it, and my whole life changed.
Wow,
My whole life
that's an
changed.
amazing. You were like the first one that everyone knew about because then you started. When did the porn start?
And about 10 years after my transition, I got
Okay.
into making porn, but it was
Oh,
sort
so
of
you
more
didn't
by
start
accident.
making porn till so what,
Late.
how old were you when you made your first porn?
So I'm 54 now. So
you are?
yeah, I'm
Oh,
54.
okay, wow.
So
You-
I know I'm old. So really, I didn't start making porn until my 40s. But I used to
Wow.
lie about my age back in the day, and I said when I become 50, I'm going to out myself. And then when I was 50, and people were like, "What? We thought you were in your
Amazing.
30s."
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought you were like 40.
Sobriety
That's
does
what I was
that.
yeah.
you know,
So
really
then
does.
you made porn, and you chose. So it was the first trans
Yeah,
porn,
yeah,
right?
the first trans male porn in the world.
trans
Yeah.
porn
Yeah.
in
It
the
was.
world,
I
and
created
you called
that
it man
genre.
with
There's
pussy.
Still
Joanna.
not that much of it.
Hardly
There
any.
isn't-
There
isn't
really
that
isn't,
Hardly
right?
any.
There's a
trans
few,
women.
There's James Darling in
Yeah.
San Francisco. There's a
Right.
couple queer. There's Pink
Yeah.
and White.
Yeah.
They do some queer. They do some trans, but nothing like me. I'm still the guy who does
Yeah.
it, produces it. But it's
Do
still
you
been
still
difficult.
produce and
Yeah, I still
produce?
produce.
Oh, you
I
do?
do a series called "Sexing the Trans Man,"
okay.
which is more like
That's a doc-
docu-porn.
It's right.
Yeah.
It's docu-porn. That's
Yeah.
it's sexy though because
It's-
you're like
thank you.
you find men and
I
you're
went to the educational side of porn, and I decided
let's
to
talk about
get
that.
mine. Well, what I wanted to do was reach a group of people that don't necessarily watch porn because I have such a fan base of non-porn.
Yeah.
So I realized I need to reach those people in a way that they can also understand how important sex is. Sex is everything.
exactly.
Right.
It's
It
not
is.
just about you get them in
It
maybe through the
is.
trans, but you're like I'm
Yes.
teaching you about sex.
And
It makes you more comfortable
Yes.
with yourself.
Transitioning.
Yeah.
Can you imagine transitioning with a vagina, and now you think you're a man all the way, but you still have a vagina?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No,
No.
I know.
And so, as you know, I'm very, very okay with my vagina and myself. And so
Right.
I thought sex is the thing
Do
that
you-
was the last
Do you
part.
only have sex with women?
No, I'm
Okay.
totally
Okay,
bisexual.
you're totally
100%.
bisexual.
You have sex with
100
men,
everyone.
man, women,
Yes.
everywhere.
Do
And
you
how
usually date men or women?
Mostly I date and have relationships with women.
Yeah.
Straight
I
women?
remember you had a
I had a wife for
girlfriend
11
yeah, it was
years.
a
I went
wife,
through a
yeah.
horrible divorce.
Oh,
That was just a
I'm
nightmare.
sorry.
Yeah, but who cares?
Yeah.
now I have an
That's-
awesome
I
lady
met her
friend.
a couple times.
but
Yeah,
the
wing
women
nut.
and they identify as straight.
No, my
everything.
new lady friend now is actually a lesbian.
Okay.
She's a very well-known lesbian. Her name is Guinevere Turner. She wrote American Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
She did the
Yeah.
L Word. She
Oh,
wrote the L Word.
movie?
Dude,
or
huge.
book?
The TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. She was like the
Wow,
on the
that's like-
TV
she's like the
show.
lesbian
She's
thing.
like super. She did Go Fish. Do you remember that movie?
Yes,
That's
I
Guinevere.
do. That was one of the first,
first
lesbian
les movie.
films. I
Yes.
totally remember that.
Wow. Yes.
And I remember her name. When you
Yes.
said that, I remember it on the screen.
She's a
I saw the
big
Castro.
les.
I
Okay.
saw it at the cast. I used to live in
That's
San
pretty
Francisco.
cool.
Yeah. So what
Good
we were
for
talking
you.
about earlier, even
Congratulations.
her identity as a lesbian isn't isn't interfered by our relationship. Because
Right.
I totally respect her as a lesbian. She is a lesbian. But we have our own type of relationship, and
There's
that's
no
really a big
law.
message.
Like
There
people
isn't.
are sexual. Like
And people are attracted to people.
to women. You know,
Yes.
I like having
Exactly.
sex with women.
Yes.
I've never really dated a woman. If one day I woke up and decided to do that, do I need a whole new label
No.
for myself? It doesn't.
No,
doesn't.
I hate all the labeling.
Yeah,
Does it
it's
matter
like-
who
It's
you want to be with
dangerous.
tonight?
One
Tomorrow
of my
might be someone
cousins,
else.
she was
So
dating a
much.
girl. She just happened to have like a really good chemistry with this girl. And then when her and that girl broke up, everyone, was trying to get her to go to all these lesbian bars and meet new women
Yeah.
and this and that. She's like, I'm not a lesbian. I just really liked that girl. And
Right.
now that that's
Exactly.
over, I don't know. And if I
see.
meet another girl like that, I don't know. Like,
Right.
I think people just everybody wants to put something in this
In a
box.
box.
And
It's true.
You,
We
you
can't
don't
put it
know
in a
who you're
box.
going to be attracted
No,
to.
exactly.
Like,
Right. So a lot of the work that you're doing now, you're going around and speaking, and it's
All
mostly
over.
everywhere,
Yeah,
right? You're traveling
everywhere.
all over the world.
Everywhere,
And
all
what
over
are
the
you
world.
Yeah.
mostly speaking about? Because if it's like accepted body positivity.
Well, I
big
speak
body
about
acceptance-
learning how to love yourself,
'Cause if-
and that comes through sex, and
mean,
that
sex
comes
positivity
through
and body
understanding your
acceptance.
body. Yes, totally.
Being positive about your
Totally.
body and being positive. Body positivity. It's a
and
whole new
also,
movement.
I talk about what does it mean to be a man. What does it mean to be a man?
Right.
It is a question I cannot answer, nor any man ever answers that. It's the
Right.
wrong. It's the wrong answer.
it's true.
It's the
because
wrong
it's
answer.
it's
Yeah.
for every person to make up for every
Yeah.
man.
And
to
I
make
talk about how I learned to love my vagina. As
How
a
did
man.
you? Because
Well,
I know women who
sex.
yeah, right.
Sex.
So many women don't love their vaginas who didn't go through what you've been through.
Incredible. So I was on the Tyra Banks show long ago.
Right.
And she tricked me, and I got on the stage, and she says to me, "Oh, so you have a vagina?" Acting like I don't. I'm like, "Yes." She goes, "And you love your vagina?" I said, "Yes, I love my vagina." And she made the most disgusting weird face, and the whole audience was like, "Oh," and I looked, and I said,
And then
"This
she
is
gave
my
everyone a
opening."
card.
So what'd you do? What'd you do?
I went to her like this. "Oh, wait. You don't love your vagina?" And her face dropped because I busted her.
Right.
I busted her, and she was like, "Nah, I don't love my vagina." And I was like, "Brilliant."
Ah,
That's so awesome.
It was awesome because she's so smart. She realized how important what she just said. And then I became her most important guest, she said to me.
Really?
Yes, I became her.
She didn't
Well,
freak
because
out.
so
on
many
She
you?
women
didn't
think
she
of her
freaked
audience.
out, but she realized what she was.
Smart.
She's a feminist. She's a
she
feminist.
is.
And she realized, oh my God, I don't like my vagina. A man loves his vagina, and I don't like my vagina.
Right.
How powerful is that?
exactly. So how do you teach women that?
Right.
How do you do that? What do
So
you say?
what
I know I
what-
talk about on the show.
it's
But I
a-
want to hear.
For me, it's always
What was your
about
process?
my process was sex. And that's why I really, really tell.
But tell me more than that.
So
A
really,
lot of
what it
women
is
have
is that
sex
I
and they don't
hated-
love their
I hated
vagina.
my vagina. I hated it. Didn't want to have
Before
it.
you transitioned, or just
Did you
even
think
after?
of getting the surgery?
Always. I always
did.
wanted to have a penis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even when I was
Yeah,
a
I'm sure.
woman,
That's how you-
when I had
And what
sex,
made you not?
so the surgery didn't exist.
Right.
It was
Right.
not. It was there, but it was not in any way. I
Okay.
want a penis like a cisgender man.
Right.
I want a
Right.
penis that I
course.
can pee. I
Can
can
you
fuck.
get? You
They
can.
don't-
You
they're
can't
not-
get a penis.
No, they
right?
haven't. I
Yeah.
mean, you can get them, but they're
like
not.
you can get rid of a penis,
But you can actually
can't-
put a penis on, but it's not what you
It's
think
not.
it is.
Right.
Yeah. And
It's
I don't
not
want to
gonna be.
disrespect any trans men out there who have it.
Right.
It's their decision and their choice, but this is my story, and for me, it wasn't good
Exactly.
enough. I'm a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist. It needs to be perfect. And then, so I started
Okay, so
having
how'd you-
sex.
But okay, like what kind of sex?
So I started having sex with partners
Okay.
secretly, not telling other people, and being very, very like secret about it. And
Do you
then I
like
started
penis? Were
meeting
you
men.
having sex with men?
So then I started meeting men, and I
Okay.
started having this desire to have sex with men where I never had that before.
Interesting.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gay. This is totally
Right.
weird.
You're trying to wrap your
Right.
head around it.
Totally weird. And
Right.
I started becoming like kind of homophobic to myself.
Oh
I was like, I can't be gay. That's not
So
right.
funny.
So weird.
You're like,
and
after
then,
all this? Yeah.
so I started meeting men, and then men were weird. Men, this is 15 years ago. Men
Okay.
started getting weird with me, and they're like, well, you don't really, because I'd be honest about it. I would disclose that I have a vagina, and they'd be like, what?
Right.
And I'm like, no, I have a
Because you're
vagina. And we're going to like, and they're like, nope, not interested. Nope, not
Right.
interested.
These are
Until
gay
finally-
men.
Gay
not
men.
be interested.
Not
It's
interested
like-
at all.
Well, they already like they're
I
gay. They
know.
like just
They're
nothing.
focused
No,
on the
I know,
penis.
I know,
Right.
But
Like
Right.
most men.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And then finally I started meeting men who were, okay, I'm going to try that.
Yeah,
I'm going to try that.
exactly.
And then literally from that, guys just started getting into it, and I started having amazing sex. I'd never had sex with a man before I became before I transitioned, ever.
So were the men you were having sex with then straight men?
Gay.
Gay. They were gay men who had never had their penis inside of a vagina.
Exactly. And guess what
That's
they kept
so
doing?
fascinating.
They kept knocking on my door.
Dude,
after
I'm sure because you're a man.
Yes.
But they're like interesting. It's
Yes.
like something new. It's
And
like, why
also,
not? The men
come
like
on,
putting
let's
their
not
penises
just-
No,
different
and all
places.
the other men
Vagina is
are
made
having-
to have sex.
Yes.
It's true.
So
It's
they were
like
like,
all the
oh
other
my
men they're
God.
having sex with, there's only
They
there's
were
only
doing
one
butt
hole.
sex.
Dude, your
You know.
phone
And
must
so
have been
I-
blowing
blowing
up.
up.
Did you just have to like you probably had to
Blowing
go
up.
out
And then I started escorting a little bit, and that got weird.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
weird and too weird for me. And I was like, you know what? This is too high maintenance for me. I'm not your
Right.
babysitter.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, let's just have sex and move on. But it wasn't like that. And anyway, so that's how, really, honestly, when I say sex, I'm telling you, what I did is I released in my head, and this is really what women have to hear from me right
Yes,
now.
tell 'em.
What I
Tell it.
released from my head, that my vagina is bad, that my vagina is dirty, that my vagina smells, that my vagina isn't worthy, and that my vagina isn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that I really took away, and it's called brainwashing.
Yeah,
I
that's what
was
we learned.
brainwashed. Okay, as a woman, I was brainwashed, and I was even brainwashed even more as a man with a vagina. So then I was like, you know what? I have suffered for 20-something years in this body. And look at how I've made my body, sculpted my body, made sure my body. And the only
body
thing that's
looks
going to
amazing.
hold me back is my vagina?
Right.
That's what I said to myself. The only thing that's going to hold me back, I'm tired of being embarrassed about myself because my sex was secret. I never told anybody about it, and only the partners that I was having sex with. So then I thought, wow, I'm actually shaming my own self. I just really honestly got tired of worrying what the rest of the world thought of me.
Right.
And that is also a thing that women have to hear from me right now.
Exactly.
You cannot worry what the only way you're going to get anything is by taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
True. No
And
one else is
being
going to.
happy on the inside.
Sex comes from you.
Yeah.
If you're not having good sex, it's because you're not having good sex.
Get to know your body. Exactly. Figure out your body. Love your body. I always tell women, like, if you got to take a
Yes.
year to it, whatever, it's a beautiful thing.
You know, the most amazing thing is
orgasms.
I have the most awesome sister. Okay, she's so amazing. And you know what? We have the most amazing sex conversations. And I've really helped my sister learn to love her body as a woman. And she says, thank you so much. She just met this guy. My sister's in her 50s, and she met
Right.
an older man. And it's like, can you imagine, how do you start having sex at
Right.
an older age?
Yeah.
I said, conversation. So they
Communication.
immediately sat down with that guy. They got tested. They completely started having sex. And she said, I've been telling him how to sex. And he told me it's the best sex he's ever had.
That's so amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so
So
good.
that's what
Good
women
message.
need to hear right now. Conversation, dialogue, take control of your vagina. It's yours.
Right, exactly. You're responsible for your own orgasm. It's not that
are.
your partner didn't give you an
You-
orgasm.
no.
You are responsible
Yes.
for communicating it and learning it. And we can all learn.
Yes.
We can all learn what feels good to us.
Yes.
That is a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so you're doing right now. You're speaking everywhere. People can find you. We've got your. It's buckangel.com.
Right.
Okay. Well, your story's fascinating.
My story's insane.
I love it, and I love it because you're a
no
role
one
model
else
and a
is like
pioneer.
you.
There's no one else like you, and you are an angel. You're
Right
both
on.
angels.
Yeah, we're angels.
Do you guys? Will you help me answer some emails
Yeah.
from the people?
Right on.
I love my listeners. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. Thank you, everybody, for supporting my sponsors, because you know I would never, ever talk about a product or a service that you did not need, that I've not tried myself, and it helps keep the show free, and I love you all. So thanks. We'll be right back. I know there's more to life than looks. It's what's on the inside that matters. I've heard it. I get it. But I'm not going to lie. A good hair day can make everything better. It really does. But here's the thing. I loathe going to a salon for hours to do my hair color. It's just a waste of time. And I tried to do it myself with a home kit, and the results, they weren't pretty. Not only was my hair completely the wrong color, but my bathroom was covered in stinky hair dye that is still there. It's stained. Like every time I look at it, I think, oh, that was the bad hair dye problem. But that was all BMR, before Madison Reed. See, Madison Reed makes luxurious at-home hair color with ingredients you can actually feel good about. Their salon quality product is the first 6-free permanent hair color, free of ammonia, parabens, resorcinol, PBD, phthalates, and gluten. But enough about what Madison Reed isn't. Let's talk about what it is. Professional quality color available in over 40 shades. If you're anything like me, you have no idea what color your hair actually needs to match. Do you know how many shades of brown there are out there? Like 1 million. Seriously. But Madison Reed has this super simple online quiz that will help you find the perfect match to your skin tone and hair texture. Their kits are nutrient-rich with keratin, argan oil, and ginseng root. The thick cream color is totally drip-free and smells great. Madison Reed delivers 100% gray coverage and the support of Madison Reed expert colorists who will guide you every step of the way. You can color with total confidence. Satisfaction guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, save 10% and get free shipping on your first color kit. Just visit madison-reed.com today and use promo code Emily. Okay, on to emails. Okay, you guys know how much I love hearing from you, and now there's a few different ways you can get your questions answered on the show. I'm so excited to announce that we are taking calls now in the studio.
I know.
Like in the next few weeks. It's going to be so exciting. So you just go to sexwithemily.com, and also you can just email us through there if you want. You just click on the Ask Emily tab. There's a drop down and fill out the submission form. But once you're filling it out, there is a question that says, would you like to have your question answered live on the podcast? So just check that box, and we'll give you a call. We'll work it out. It'll be fun. I want to talk to you. We'll solve your issues real time. You can also leave me a voicemail now, 818-ASK-SWE1, 818-275-7931. So these are all the ways I love hearing from you. Okay, guys, on to emails. Hey, Emily, I'm a trans man in the early stages of transitioning. I've tried masturbating in the past, but could never make it work because penetration, even with one finger, was a bit of a stretch. I realize now that could probably be solved by lube. And anything else I tried to do felt awkward. I could feel myself moving around on there, but it was eliciting zero pleasure. Recently, I've been wanting to retry it. Do you have any tips on how to make it feel good, toys, methods, etc.? Thanks so much for your feedback, Liam. So obviously I thought that, like, Buck, you're here. You could help. I know.
I love it.
I know, right? Like, words.
I don't know why it makes me feel like crying.
Because you probably
an
didn't
emotional
think about, like,
day.
what
It is,
you
because
didn't know. You
I
had no
remember
one to
that.
email. What was it? Right, you didn't.
It was horrible because nobody taught me about my anatomy.
No, I want to cry.
I know, and like even women don't know their own anatomy. Can you imagine a trans man? It's like, what is this?
Right, and so you're taking, because it changed. You were taking hormones. So then, what did it?
So what happens when you take testosterone?
Tell me, because then
grow.
you get to understand what Liam's going through. So tell me what happens.
So what happens when you take testosterone? Your genitals, specifically your clitoris, grows. Mine's grown to the size of my thumb. So basically, you get a small penis,
right?
And it actually does get erect. So basically, what I like to tell trans men is experiment by touching. Now, there's a lot of guys who are not comfortable to touch it because, first off, they don't really want to think of it as a vagina.
Right.
It feels like a vagina to
it
them.
reminds them
It
of
reminds them of femininity.
Right.
So one of the reasons why I chose to have this thing
That's
made.
what this is brilliant. Wait,
so
hold
what
on
I
a minute.
did is I realized toys were a big part of me learning how to love my body and learning. So I love toys. Toys are everything.
Was it like what toy?
So I used to. So there was no toy for me. They didn't invent. There was no trans male sex toys at all.
Okay.
Because what we used was vibrators. Everything on the market that you see now is made for cisgender people.
It's true.
Every single one.
Gay men.
Here's the question:
Gay men are cisgendered,
when
right?
you were starting to, so when your clitoris grew to a thumb,
Yeah.
But was it? Did it not feel good then when you touched it, or you just didn't?
Oh no, I felt good, and I would jack it off like like a little teeny mini penis, and also blowjobs are my favorite thing in the whole world. So I totally get blowjobs, and actually I love getting penetrated. Penetration is a big deal for me, but not a lot of trans men feel like being penetrated because it feels very female to them.
Right.
So I don't feel it
Just
doesn't.
get out of your head. It's pleasure.
Yes.
This
So
is
that's
what
the
you-
thing. It's getting out of your head. So I encourage masturbation on such a level, but a lot of guys don't want to touch their genitals. So what I used to do is I used to get different kinds of toys, like ones that had, like let's say there's this one called the bro sleeve, and there's other one that's made for
like a fleshlight.
Exactly for cisgender men's penises, and it's a jack off sleeve.
Right.
So they're called strokers.
Right.
So I would
like
take
a fleshlight.
strokers.
Tanga makes little
right,
eggs.
exactly.
Okay.
Tanga egg. We would all use those products, but they weren't made for our bodies.
So you felt inadequate.
Inadequate because we don't even have our own toy.
It's not big enough.
But did
Exactly.
when you would come, did your orgasm feel the same?
That's a great question, actually.
so curious.
Prior to my transition, I used to have 5-6 orgasms. After transition, I know this sounds
From your
really
clitoris or
from my clit, and also
And you stopped. You
yes,
had that too.
yes.
Okay, got it.
But
So-
but not as intense as it is now.
Okay.
So after transition and taking hormones, now I'm horny all the time. I'm like totally like a 16-year-old boy. Really,
Right.
I am. I can have sex at any drop.
I love this.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy. So that said, all of a sudden I would just have one intense orgasm. I thought, this is exactly what happens with cis men. They have to recuperate.
Right.
And I can come back, but it's like so more intense than I can ever even
So
tell
your
you.
refractory
so
period is
awesome.
a lot longer. You're not having
Yes,
multiples.
exactly. And
Okay.
then from that, I realized, oh my God, like this is the most amazing thing. Can I penetrate myself? And I started practicing with all different kinds of vibration. I love vibration and penetration at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, but again, nothing made for me.
Right.
Nothing made for the guys who would write me because I'm the sex voice of the trans man world.
Right.
Like, dude, how do I jack off? What do I do?
So
I'm
you
like,
get asked this
"Try
question a lot. That's why I'm so glad you're here. Okay.
So then I was like, why is there no toy made for us? Why is there no trans male sex toy in the world
Look
on
at this.
the market?
This is so smart.
So
didn't
I
know-
would go to open it. Yeah, I would go to all the toy companies. Name any toy company, I went there.
Okay.
And every single one of them said no. Doesn't
Now I'm gonna
exist.
cry.
That is so
They said to me,
crazy that
they
they
said
would
to me
say
that
no.
market doesn't exist, which is
That's
exactly
so
the same thing they said to me when I made movies.
I know.
You know, when I made
That's
movies,
crazy.
not
You're like,
anybody
you
would
can't
touch
listen
me.
to anyone, right? You knew because you
I
knew.
I know.
So okay, your toy.
Everyone
Wait,
in porn
this
is
is the
waiting
first
for
of all.
something that hasn't
I
been done.
know. It's so
I love that your
ridiculous.
toy is called the Buck Off.
Right on.
Okay, the Buck Off, and it is. So tell me about this. It looks
So
like
it's-
a butt plug.
So
Yes, it
like a
looks like a
larger
butt
butt
plug.
plug.
So basically,
Your
you
penis
put
fits in
It's
here.
silicone.
Your clitoris.
I kept
goes
thinking
here.
it was something up here.
Yeah, that's
what
because
you're-
it looks like that.
It's a little larger, like
So
a,
basically, it's a
It's a mini flashlight.
It's a mini
It's a
flashlight.
mini flashlight.
So what I did is I made it so look, it wasn't easy to make because really I had to really work on this. So basically, what it does is see how it has suction. It has a little suction, not
Yeah.
too much, but so you stick it against your vagina and it sucks you inside of it. We put these amazing ridges in it, so it feels like a tongue, and it feels like you're getting you can put lube in it, which gives it a more of a suction. And then, so the reason I actually designed it with Steve Calla, the owner of the company,
So they could feel like
a
they have
penis.
a penis.
So
I
look,
get
now
it.
when you're
Okay,
jacking
now
off,
it makes sense
my
to
God.
me.
when and it's made from silicone, which is an
oh my
amazing
God, this
product.
feels so good.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to feel soft. I didn't want, and if you look, you can feel, if you put your finger in it, you can actually feel your genitals in there. So it gives guys an opportunity to feel their own genitals without actually physically touching their own
Right.
genitals.
Huh. You are
Wow,
a genius.
this
And
is
so
so
it gives
smart.
you this
So
idea.
amazing.
Thank you so much. I feel we sold out like
Really?
and that's not I'm not saying that as a business guy. I'm saying that as a guy
Like
who's
amazing.
an educator.
There's a need.
There was
It
a need for
clearly-
it.
There was clearly a need
I
for
love
it.
this. I want one.
Okay, that's yours.
My
That's
clitoris
yours.
isn't-
I would love for you to try. And
Buck
also,
off.
so cis
I
women are
don't know.
coming to me. Can I use it? Of
Yeah.
course you can.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Well, I was
can I
gonna
use
say- Of course
it?
you
What
can.
would I? Because
Well,
I
where would
I
I
have
use
very
it?
strong
Just put it on top.
clitoral
Yes.
orgasms. I
Just
do.
play
Wait,
with
what?
it.
I have very strong clitoral orgasms,
Yeah.
stronger than my internal.
Try it. Try
What
it.
do you
Too.
do?
So you just stick it against your
But
genitals.
it's the suction, right?
And,
I see
you
it.
can do anything you want with it.
Right.
There's no one way to use it.
I like it. Oh my
There's
God,
no one way to use
congratulations.
it.
Where can
Thank
people
you.
get it, the Buck Off?
So my website,
Website.
buckangel.com or
Okay.
perfectfitbrand.com.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
congrats. Okay, so
It's so
Liam's question. Let's go
comfortable.
back to Liam because
Yes.
I didn't even know
Yes.
about this whole craziness.
Yes, this will help Liam in but one thing I want to tell you about this product real quick.
Okay.
My community has no money. It's a very
Okay.
poor community because,
right.
let's just talk about
Yeah,
jobs, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. One of the main things for me that's very important is accessibility. And as we know, sex toys are very expensive.
They can be really
They can be very expensive. So really, I had to work with this company, and they were very gracious, and they understood to me. It wasn't about me making money. It was
Right.
about me making a product that
will
gave us
make people
validation.
happy.
Now this is in every store across the world.
Oh
The
my
whole
God.
world took it.
That's amazing.
So I want to let you know that we made this for $29.95 retail, which for a sex toy, as you know,
Yeah.
that's why the community was able to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the community now will be much more sexually active.
Right.
And
Yeah,
sex
absolutely.
creates happiness.
It does.
It does. It says that love your body, love
yourself.
yourself. That's so good. And I know what your other what's your quote that you're most known for?
My most known for.
It doesn't matter what's between your legs.
It's not what's between your legs that defines you.
Yeah,
it's true.
So true. That's what you've been all about. I love it.
So Liam.
So let's go back to Liam
Yes.
because he's newly transitioning.
Yes.
And Liam says that he's tried, but penetration even with one finger was a stretch.
Right.
And anything feels awkward,
Yes.
and he had zero pleasure.
Yes.
So could a lot of that be in his head?
Totally in his head.
So let's
100%.
talk about how to ease
But
into
also,
that.
he could be dry, which happens with a lot of trans men. And so, even putting a little teeny bit of lube on your finger and just rubbing. So, this is what I want to tell Liam. Liam, my friend, just take a little bit of lube, take a little bit of time. I love to watch porn. I love to watch porn and jack off too. I think it's maybe you need a little mental stimulation along with the physical.
Get out of your head.
Get out of your head. Find the things that turn you on, whatever that is. You know, I love leather and cigars. I love to watch guys smoking cigars. That turns me on. And just put a little lube, rub yourself down there, and just rub it. You don't have to have an orgasm.
Right.
Start from that. Start slow.
Right.
You know,
without an end goal.
Without
Just
an
getting
end
to know
goal.
your body
Right
again.
on, my friend.
Yeah.
Just start touching yourself.
Okay.
That's it.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, Liam. Great. I think that's great advice. I mean, I couldn't even
Yeah,
say it.
we-
It's like, I'm so glad you're here.
Just touch yourself.
Okay, touch yourself, Liam. Keep us posted and just keep going. It's like,
Yep.
you know, with everything, we all started out there. Like,
Yep.
you start out with your body, you take some time. Can't have the end goal. Figure it out. Okay, hi, Emily. Here's my predicament. I'm currently dating an amazing man who treats me like a queen. Our relationship is built on trust and communication and respect and all those things that are keys to happiness. It's just that when it comes to having sex, I'm disappointed most of the time. I changed my contraceptive method as I thought that was the reason for losing my libido. I don't understand why sex has become such a platonic subject in my life when I was a bunny rabbit with ex-boyfriend. I've tried different positions, role-playing, bondage, etc. My issue is whether I should stay in this relationship when the sex isn't satisfactory. We've got people shaking their heads across the table, but all the other elements to an amazing relationship is there. I've spoken about this to him, but can't point blank say I'm not attracted to him and feel absolutely no connection when getting it on. I can't say that. At this point, I would rather be alone and never be aroused again than make it someone else's problem and break their heart. Now, Nadine, 21, South Africa.
Well, there you go.
See, that's why I always have you
Does
guys
birth
include
control
your
mess
age.
with your libido?
Yeah,
Does it?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that's the other. Talk about crusading and being on a mission. Like, I'm angry that people not you apparently. You've been on birth control for 20
but
years.
I go through
No, you
phases
do, right.
sometimes.
With
but
all
I-
women, the doctors do not tell you. Maybe they do more so now that it could make you
I
depressed.
do find that different
It could-
birth
your
controls
libido,
do affect it.
So many things
What's
can
the
affect
end?
it.
What is the right birth control?
You got to
keep
find.
horny?
Here's the thing: is that it's different for every woman. So
Yeah.
you might need you experiment. There's so many different kinds. So if whatever you're taking doesn't work for you, you can go for like a lower, a higher estrogen, lower
Right.
estrogen, progesterone. You play with it because so you just go to your doctor. But girls, young women too, like in college when I got like depressed and got bloated and all that stuff happened my freshman year when I went on the pill. Like I didn't know that was why. Like the doctor was just like, this is what you take. So anyway, but back to Nadine. You're 21 years old. See, it's important. So you're 21. It's different than if you
Totally.
and it's a new relationship. In the past, you've had great sex. And at 21, I just think this is when the sex is and the relationship's supposed to be great. And you've been with this guy for I don't know how long. You said dating the guy.
Yeah.
If it's not great at the beginning and you're already struggling to get turned on with the sex, I just say, maybe he's just going to be a
It
friend.
sounds like it's
Time
not
to
meant
cut
to
it.
be
Right.
Yeah, he's a
a
friend.
lover. He's a friend.
He's a friend.
Yeah, you already said at this point, I'd rather be alone and
And
never
it's
aroused.
like I feel like she's only 21.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
know.
it's like all the things she's saying I would understand if
At
they had kids, if
Right.
they owned a
Right.
house together.
No
Right.
attachments
Something
to him.
like that,
Right.
then maybe it's worth exploring a few more things before you call it.
But even
call it
why not?
quits, but
Why not even try to explore right now as 21 with her
Yeah.
lover, and why not bringing in somebody else, or experimenting with
Right.
having other lovers, or experimenting with going to parties, or because
I
maybe
feel like
he's feeling the same way.
you have to, but they need to have good sex with each other. I think.
Right.
Yeah,
before
that's
they
true.
invite
That's true.
someone
But
else
also,
in,
God,
but-
yeah, it's a hard. I mean, right? For
This
me,
is what I wanna
21.
say.
Yeah.
Move
You
on.
Okay, but
Yeah,
Nadine, but
right.
here's the thing. Nadine, also I want to say is if you really do like this guy, this would be a great time for you to practice, even if you don't think it's going to work. But I'm assuming, you have had orgasms, you have had great sex, and you're like, I don't know what to say to him. Why don't you just might not be
Maybe
perfect,
she needs
but just
to
be like,
masturbate
babe,
more often.
just say, let's play
Yeah.
mutual masturbation. Say, I think it'd be really hot to watch you jack off, and I'm going to
Sure, that
masturbate.
could work.
He could see how you touch yourself, and you could take control of it and be like, babe, you turn me on, or I love kissing you. Communicate.
Yeah.
This is what I like. Let me show you how I want to move. Because let me read you her last sentence. She said again, at this point, I would rather be alone and never aroused again than make it someone else's problem. Listen, it's
like
your.
very.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
that's
your.
very
Listen,
extreme.
Nadine, you're responsible for your own pleasure, your own sex life. It's not any of their problems. It's yours. So if you want to have great sex, it's always going to come down to communicating about what you want.
Always.
So you could try it again with him. I'm not sure if you've really tried. You said you've tried role play and bondage, but it really might be about showing him what you need.
Yes.
Like truly like telling him how you want to be touched. And if you don't know,
Right.
that's why I always say mutual masturbation is a
She
good place to
also
start.
might need to dig a little bit, and I think it's really common for young women. And I had to train myself to get out of that, where I used to, when I was younger, I could not ever be attracted to someone who was nice. You know, I had that problem where I was like, I want the asshole.
Oh, wow.
I want the guy that doesn't like me back.
Yeah.
I want the person that is unavailable and this and that. A lot of women, I think,
A lot of
have
women,
that.
I
I mean, a
think
lot of
you're
men
right.
have that problem too. They meet a
Yes.
really nice girl and they're like, no, I want the girl that ignored me all night.
Exactly.
Right.
I want the girl that doesn't call me back. Or
Yes.
it's a common problem, and she might have some of that. It's like the
Well, she
second
seems like she has
someone
low
treats her
self-esteem.
nicely,
Yes.
she's like, this isn't sexy, you know? And
Right.
like, I actually did go to therapy for a while because I dated asshole after asshole after
Right.
asshole, and I was like, I'm emotionally like drained.
No, really,
Like, I
that's-
can't do this
Right.
anymore.
Good for
like,
you.
Good for
I'm
you.
sick of
Yeah.
it. You know, I want to.
You took control.
Be happy. I did, and I
Yes.
acknowledged that it was a problem, and that might be a little more than she feels like delving into right now. But like I did have to change, where it's like, okay, if a guy is like really likes me and treats me well, I should
deserve
find that
that.
sexy. I
is
shouldn't be
sexy.
like,
Joanna,
oh,
that's-
you must be desperate, you know, like, which was weird.
That's
A lot
horrible.
of women have that.
But
That's
okay,
And a
so
lot of
I
men,
love
too.
I love that you.
I know that's a greater issue, but a lot of it does come from
I want to hear more about
self-esteem,
this.
you know?
Is that so many women and men, we tend to fall into patterns, the same
You do,
dating patterns,
and you
the
have
fact-
to acknowledge it's a bad pattern. If it happens
Yes.
once, okay, whatever.
Yes.
But when you notice you spent 10 years
dating the
Yes.
same kind of
dating
guy.
shitty
Yes.
people,
So how did you learn
the
that?
problem's probably you. you know?
What's the common denominator here? Right. So you just learned like to fight, like you kind of changed your association. So you beat a guy. You're like, okay, he's being nice to me. I'm not going to run. And you kind of could turn that
I
into
had
sexy.
to be like, I
but
want
you
to
had
get to know
recognize-
this person. You have to learn too. I remember
Push through
learning
the-
in therapy that like, oh, I want him, but I can't have him. Where is he? Like, oh, why that feeling is not love. That feeling is not healthy. Like, love is
No, that's
supposed to
like
be someone
desperation.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I used to think if I
Yeah.
didn't get that almost like addiction,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes it is misleading because sometimes that weird addiction can lead to good sex, you
Right.
know, because then when you finally
Of
like
course.
get them, you're like, yes.
What
But
does Drew
that's
say? You want
not-
butterflies, not fireworks,
Yeah.
or something? Yeah, you
and-
want butterflies, not like
and
an
she's
earthquake.
like, you know, love is supposed to make you happy, you know, and it's supposed to. When you say the word comfortable doesn't mean boring and repetitive.
Right.
Comfortable can mean wonderful, you know. Like I
Right.
don't know. I had to.
I love that.
retrain
That's a great
my
message
brain.
too. I think
so
for
that
a lot of
might,
people listening,
might
that you
be
can change
like
that.
a greater problem. I mean, she also just might not be into this person, and that she's
That's
not
what I
into
think.
them.
I don't
But,
think she's into him
you know,
at all.
but
But
like,
but she
but
seems
that
like she
might
doesn't
be
want to
a
hurt his
thing.
feelings.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is she's overly. Yeah, she's like.
But that's also seems a lot of women tend to be that way.
yeah.
Maybe she can retrain her brain a little bit
Yes.
to get
Yes.
aroused when someone's
Yes.
you
Really
know,
not- yeah.
serving you.
It could be that. Yeah, it could be that as
Trying to
well.
make
I
you
think we
happy,
gave her
you
some good
know?
information. It's very
Still
helpful.
look at it.
No, it is. There's because it's hard to know. It's complicated, especially when you're just learning to love and to date and be in relationships. Okay,
Yeah.
another email ready.
Yeah.
Hey, Emily, before my marriage, I was blessed with overflowing mojo. Super confident, sexually confident, you name it. Sex was very important in my life, and I paid for college from bouncing and bartending at strip clubs, and have been known to spin a pole myself for lady customers. Then I got married, and I was 100% faithful and committed. We were married for 8 years. Long story short, my ex-wife cheated on me, and we recently divorced. And now I have zero self-confidence, much less sexual confidence. I feel
this
so
a man or a
betrayed.
woman
It's a man.
writing? It's a man. Okay.
I can't even look at. I know the pole thing is
Yeah,
confusing,
yeah, I know.
but he worked as a
Okay, he
bouncer.
works as a- okay.
I can't even look at anyone of the opposite sex with any kind of trust or any confidence to have any kind of mojo to pick myself up and get back in the game. I need help bad. Any words of advice or encouragement are appreciated. New listener, Ray, age 41.
Oh,
so
my
sad.
friend.
Yeah.
I know.
And I understand that.
Yeah,
too. I have
especially
been
older.
cheated on, and
Oh,
it
it's the
does.
worst.
It rips.
It's the worst.
It is
It's-
really terrible.
You see everything through that lens for a while.
Actually, that's my biggest problem is cheating. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing that I will not stand for
Right.
of anything. Anything. Cheating
I'm
is
not okay
disgusting
with
mine,
and
right,
horrible.
at all.
No,
it
me
really
neither.
ruins a person.
Yes.
And it is hard to. So he's not alone.
And it's cowardly.
And
it's like it's
I-
easy.
It
it's
is
harder.
cowardly.
Yeah. You
And
can
I-
work. You can end your
I'm
relationship
someone
and then
in the
go.
adult industry, and I've had partners now in the adult industry. and
Yes,
I-
it's-
there's a
Okay,
but when someone
a trust
crosses
thing.
that
So Ray,
line,
It's trust.
Yeah, Ray,
you
we're
gotta-
with you. Your trust was shattered.
Really, he
Yeah.
needs to go to therapy. Number
Yeah,
one,
he
that's
does.
what I think.
ASAP, you will not deal with this on your
therapy.
own.
Number two, I think that you really need to get yourself out there, back into some kind of sexual environment. Doesn't have to be dating.
Yeah, no,
but
Yeah,
you
let's
need
not-
you
to
need to
have
have
sex.
You need
Yes.
to give.
Even if you need to have a sex worker a professional sex. Oh no, I'm very much into that. It's
Okay,
great.
no, but I would- yeah.
Yeah. So if you need even to pay a little bit of money, which is a nice thing to do because you get what you pay for,
true.
and then you can have a really nice woman come over and play with you and make you feel special. That's what you need to feel special, my friend.
You do.
Yeah.
I remember I was in a shitty
That's interesting.
relationship for a while, and you know, and he cheated, and he did all. He was like mentally, verbally abusive for a long time. And then as soon as that was over, and I wanted to be alone for a while, but as soon as I was like ready, I was like, I just want to have sex with
Right
someone.
on.
The last
Right.
like few years of my relationship, we didn't have sex. I was just so beaten down and angry and upset and not horny. And the first person I had sex with, I felt so good.
Yeah.
I was like, I gave someone an orgasm. Someone gave me an orgasm.
Right.
Like, I'm happy.
That's
like,
awesome.
We didn't have sex and then fight about it for 3 hours. We didn't like, you know, it was just fun. And it really, really did begin to like restore my confidence and just, and also it's also like important. I don't know if he's still associating, like, don't talk to anyone you met through her, like just you need a new circle.
Right.
That
It sounds like it's fairly
hard
new.
for
So
me,
I would
too.
also say, get into therapy ASAP.
Yes.
Get
And
into
I don't ever
therapy,
want to hear
but-
from anybody like, I don't have insurance, blah, blah, blah.
Nope.
Your mental
find
health
it,
is the
yeah.
most important
Yep.
thing that you could deal with right now. You can take care of your physical health is important,
Even
but
if
your
it's
mental
a
health,
free group
you could go to
therapy,
free
yeah,
thing. You
you
could
can
get a
find
sliding
it.
scale. Believe me, I don't believe anyone who can't
Nope,
then
it's not
give
true.
up
I
other
learned a
things.
lot
Don't
in
pay for cable
therapy.
this month. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so do that, right? Get into some therapy, not because like you're sick and wrong. We're telling you that trust is something very hard, and the self-confidence thing. That's one thing. The other thing is take the pressure off yourself. This just happened. So it's going to make sense that you're not having self-confidence and you're feeling like, you know, you don't have your mojo, but I promise you it will come back.
Yes.
Life it's a cycle of life. And not only will it come back, I can promise you when you get to the other side of it, it's going to be even stronger than ever. I'm
It will
certain.
be, yeah.
But right
That's
now,
what happens.
yeah, you could start like, you know, even if you want to like eventually start, you know, for now, start dating, building your community.
Yes.
I would say it's about
Yeah.
like maybe even take women off the table and maybe just friends, community, get people around you, and like you don't have to be dating now.
Yeah.
And then when
I
you'll
think
know
it is
when you're
important.
ready.
If they were married and stuff, like don't talk to her family.
know.
Yeah.
Don't talk to her.
Remove
yourself.
That is one of the hardest parts.
Yes.
And
That
I
is
lost
hard.
a lot of friends after my relationship, you know, ended. And I was like, even though there were people I really liked,
just-
I was
It
like,
happens.
I just had to change my social circle,
Smart.
change my, you know.
Right.
I just removed myself from anyone that, you know, you got to really start life over.
You have
It's
to take care of your
hard.
own
It's
self.
like
You
do.
recovering from a drug problem.
really
or
is.
something.
Or I think
it
a death.
really
It
is.
is.
Have you ever
It
gone through a
is.
death? So Ray, just
it's difficult.
be
but
kind to
you
yourself.
can
You
do
want
it.
some? Yeah, Ray, you can
You
totally do
deserve
this.
to have fun and just know that other person fucked up, not you.
Yeah.
You, that other person.
Exactly.
That other person is damaged in a way that will never get repaired, and you can repair yourself.
Yes.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Right
You will
on.
repair. You're already, yeah. I mean, the fact that you're even be able to email and you
Yes.
articulately explain this
Mm-hmm.
is like the first step. So I think that's great, and that you emailed. I appreciate it, and I'd love to hear how you're doing. So stay in touch, get some therapy, surround yourself with like just the good people in your life that love you, and that mojo's going to come back one day. And be like, oh, here it is. So
Yeah.
just let it go. It's
Masturbate.
okay not to have it for a while.
Masturbate.
I just took
Yeah,
months off.
masturbate.
I just broke up. Masturbate.
Just
the
masturbating
best.
makes you feel
Exactly.
good.
It totally does.
Really
It
does.
totally does. It's like
Yeah,
the gym, like when you forget
you probably
to go
like
for a while.
spent a long time like waiting to get this feeling from this other person who wasn't giving it to them. So just give it to
Yeah,
yourself.
give it to
Yeah.
yourself.
Fucking
Totally.
jerk off all over.
I
You
love
live
it.
alone. Jerk off in the living room.
We're
Jerk
all
off in the
fans
I
of
do that
shower.
all day.
Jerk off in the sink. You know. You're home alone.
Hey, let's look at that.
Jerk off all over her face. Just
Yeah.
kidding. Just kidding.
Where's Ray going to go now? With all his guys? Who knows? Okay, guys, thank you so much. This is a great show. That's all we got time for.
I love you, Buck.
All right, I love you too.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was a lot
This
of
was
fun.
a friggin' party at the Sex Family
was.
It
HQ.
totally was.
It's
We
like
should
a
do this
sleepover.
again.
Yeah, we should do
We
this
will.
again.
Seriously, you guys, come by anytime.
Right on.
Thank you. So, Buck, everyone can find you, buckangel.com.
Yep.
Is there anywhere that you're traveling in November? People can find you
Where are you
November,
going?
December?
Yep.
Or
What are
they
you
can-
doing for
I'm
Halloween?
speaking at Cal State Northridge on the 16th
Okay.
for Transgender Awareness Week. And then the next morning, I fly to New York City for the New York and world premiere of The Trans List for HBO.
Oh.
So I'm in that, which
Are
is
you
really,
in that?
Yeah, which is amazing
Wow.
because I am.
What is it, a
Oh my
drama?
God.
It's did you guys ever see the list? You know the list, the out list, the Latino list. It's
Yes.
on HBO. It's amazing. You
Okay.
should
Yes.
watch them. They're like
Once.
series of them.
One of them.
And so they're like a documentary of different people that they interview. And so literally, the director fought to get me in this because you know my voice is sex. And so it's all like Caitlyn Jenner's in it, Laverne Cox, Janet Mock, and other trans people. But
Have you met
my
Caitlyn
voice is
Jenner?
sex. Yeah.
How's that go down?
Are you friends with? Maybe this is. Are you friends with Laura Jean? Do you guys the
I don't know who that
singer of Against Me?
Oh yeah, I love her,
okay,
Laura
okay.
Jane.
Yeah.
Me and her are like best friends.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
No, she's super awesome. Laura Jane is awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
But anyway,
Caitlyn Jenner. I feel like we got
let
to
me
bring
tell you
that up
about
for a second.
Caitlyn.
Go.
I want to tell you about
People are going to
Caitlyn.
want to know why I didn't ask that. So yeah.
Caitlyn is a good person, you guys, and so I am so tired of my community saying mean things about her.
Do
Look,
they? I thought they were all.
oh no, they hate her
No.
because they do the same thing that they do with me.
So
It's
it's like
because
your
she
Twitter
has a
spirits.
voice. And she speaks.
Just 'cause she's
she doesn't
rich?
speak for the transgender.
Sometimes
Exactly.
people hate on people
It's
just because
jealousy.
they have money. It's like,
Jealous.
dude,
She has a
she won
voice.
the Olympics.
Yes.
She can be rich.
She's
Right.
amazing. And you
Yeah.
know what?
Fine.
She didn't have to be a voice for the community. She could
Right.
have had her change and gone away.
Right.
It's true.
But no, she took the time and energy to speak for us in a way that is representation of herself as a trans.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't speak for me. She's just saying awareness of the trans community can mean anything.
I think what she did a very
It's
big thing,
amazing.
and she made it. Because she's so famous.
Yes.
Right.
She's just making this less of a taboo.
She totally
means like
is.
10 years from now,
She
this is going to
totally
be
is.
really
I'm very
completely
grateful
normal,
for her.
you
Right,
know?
good.
And
I'm so glad
very
to hear that,
grateful
yeah.
for her and her voice, and she's making change, and she hits a demographic that I can't
No,
speak
right?
to,
Yeah,
or many
exactly.
other people can't speak
And
to.
now there's a lot of young kids who are
Someone
coming
who-
out.
Shame on my
literally in the
community.
Olympics,
Shame on my
yeah.
community for saying anything bad about her. Shame on them.
Yeah.
So that's that, you know. So anyway, I'm in the trans list with that, and that's going to really be a big deal for me because I get to
congratulations.
talk about sex in an environment that we don't talk about sex. And so my sex,
That's
the
amazing.
trans world doesn't talk about sex
That's
at all.
amazing.
No, it's
No?
horrifying.
They
Yes.
don't ever talk about sex.
Nope. They don't talk about it. They don't want to talk about it.
Talk about
They want to
gender.
homogenize
Yeah.
themselves. Yeah, they want to just
Talk
say
about
we're
gender
people.
and identity.
Yeah, I'm a robot. I don't
Yeah.
have sex. Like, you better have sex
Yeah,
because
you
that's
need to
part of
have
being a
sex.
human being.
Wow, they
Yeah.
really don't. Okay, I'm glad.
And then
they're
from
out
there,
there.
I'd fly to Paris to do a show in Paris, and then from Paris, I fly to Montpellier.
What kind of show?
Are you doing
A
any-
dancing show.
People
So I
can
still do
find
live
you
sex
dance?
shows. Yeah. You've never seen my live sex shows? Are they
No,
the best?
are they here in LA ever?
In LA? Do you think they're going to let me do a live sex show?
You can't even be topless
Damn,
in
you're
LA.
right.
The
I
last-
in Amsterdam.
The last live sex show I did was at Folsom because they put me in a special tent that was off-site.
Oh, I've
Folsom
never
Street
seen
Fair in
one.
San
Yeah,
Francisco?
yeah. But I do
love
live
San-
sex shows all over Europe because they
Who are you
understand it.
doing? It was you doing it with another.
Yeah, with a group of people that bring me in, like just mostly gay men.
Right.
So I go to gay men and I do like basically what I do is a strip tease, right? Right. I do a strip dancing show with my big cock inside my pants, but they don't know that it's actually really not a real
Right.
cock
They
unless
don't
they know who
know?
I am.
Right.
But it's
Right,
the
some
best.
of them
So then
don't
I
know.
strip all the way down
The
to my
reveal.
and I take off my underwear and I hold my cock between my legs. I'm totally
Fake- you
good at
fake
it.
stuff.
So they just think it's like real, and then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just get to this one point in
And
the
then you
song
just
and I
have a
rip
pussy.
it off. It's so great.
so
And then they're
great.
like, "What?" And then I fuck myself with it. And so
Oh, it's like a dildo that you
Yes.
Have you ever
yes.
done like a bachelor or bachelorette party?
No,
or
but I should totally. We
You
should do that
should.
together.
Oh my
We
god.
should do that together. That would
I
be
just want,
amazing.
yeah, that's
Anyway,
ama-
so I, you
and
know,
they're
I just-
cool and they're cheering.
Oh my god,
and
they
they're
love
supportive.
it. They eat it up.
There's nothing else like that.
They eat it up. They love it
That
because
is
what
so
I've done
fun.
is just brought awareness to something like it's all an illusion. Everything. Us, we're an
Yes.
illusion.
Yeah.
You create your own self. And so I created this illusion on a stage where people are like expecting something and people love that.
I
People
love it. They're like,
love
oh my
that.
god, yeah.
They live for that kind of stuff.
That is amazing.
And then I go to a film festival and show my film and speak to a bunch of people in
That's so
south
amazing.
of France.
Okay, so
So
it's
many-
all your
so
dates
many
are on your
different
website.
things.
Yeah.
And Joanna Angel, birdingangel.com, at Joanna Angel across the board. And anything coming up for you November?
Actually, I really have like nothing in November.
I know.
You're going to come back here
I
and
was
do
like
the show.
very busy in all of October.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys. This was great. This was a blast. It was like a party.
Yeah, this was really
It's
It's when
fun.
it's like never, it's
Yeah,
not
we
work.
Could,
I
we
mean,
could keep this
never.
going for another 4 hours.
I know.
This
We'll
is
do another show.
amazing.
I'll
We'll
keep
do
it
another
here.
show.
Okay, you guys, thank you so much. It was a
you.
great show. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. And thank you to my amazing team. Thank you, Madison. And thank you, Jamie and Lori and Ken and Eddie. God, I got such a good team. And thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Let's talk about the orgasm gap. You don't know what the orgasm gap is? Okay, so a little refresher. Men take anywhere between 6 to 8 minutes to orgasm during intercourse. women between 20 and 40 minutes. You see the issue here? There's like a gap. Even if you don't have an issue with premature ejaculation, the fact remains women take longer to achieve orgasm than men do. A lot longer. But you can take action. You can. For starters, more foreplay. Foreplay is not just a suggestion, it's actually mandatory. And to help you narrow the orgasm gap during intercourse even more, try Promescent. See, Promescent is a clinically proven, FDA-approved product that can significantly delay ejaculation. So, why is that a good thing? Because if you're able to last longer, you'll have less anxiety about performing. You can focus on being in the moment with your partner, enjoying sex instead of stressing about it. And your partner gets a benefit of a longer, more intense experience. Doesn't that sound much better? Does that sound more fun? No more gaps? A lot more sex, a lot more orgasms. God, this sounds good. Promescent is a topical spray that gets applied to the penis to improve a man's stamina. Unlike common delay sprays that make you numb, Promescent is quickly absorbed, allowing you to enjoy the sensations of sex. When used properly, it won't transfer to your partner, which, trust me, nobody likes. What other product can help you last longer, have better sex, reduce performance anxiety, and improve your relationship? Exactly, none. And it's easier to buy Promescent than ever before because now it's available at your local Rite Aid and Target too. That's right, you can run out, get some today. Of course, you can also click on the Promescent banner on my site or visit Promescent.com today.